Hello and welcome to BennoCam. We have another military vehicle video for you today. And in today's video we're going to be looking at my latest project, which is another Elvis Stalwart. So this is a project which I've just acquired. And yeah, it's another Elvis Stalwart. You can tell it's a Mark II by these bigger windows in the front here. But this is quite an unusual vehicle because this is actually an ex-Swedish Stalwart. So Sweden bought around 20 of these vehicles to use on their coastal artillery. So they all use them as amphibious trucks. And this one's really nice, it's really original. I didn't actually mean to buy it, I went to look at some spare parts quite locally. And the guy selling them had this for sale as well. So I thought it's one of the tidiest ones I've ever seen. So I might as well buy it and do it up. And this one's in really, really good condition. I'll show you it now, and I'll also show you all the differences. So it's very similar to a UK Stalwart, but there's a few slight differences that Sweden altered on theirs. One of them is being this tailgate. For some reason they put a solid tailgate on. I'm not entirely sure why, but yeah, that's a very easy thing to identify, a Swedish one. Most of the vehicle is the same. This one still has its original swimming gear as well. So with the UK ones, what they tended to do is they took away their swimming capability towards the end of their service. So most of the British ones have all the swim gear removed, and the ones that do swim, people have now tracked all the parts down and put them back on. This one is completely original. It's never had it taken off, so that's really, really good. So still got all its original gear. You'll also notice the tyre tread is different on these. I don't know why Sweden decided to go for different tread. I actually think they look quite nice. They've got a little bit more tread than my other ones have. They look really good, the wheels on this. All the paintwork is all original as far as I know. It's still got these original little stencils for the tyre pressures. And there's the remains of a load of stenciling here. And it's also got its original swim board as well, which is brilliant. So I'll show you how that works in a minute. I've never had one with a swim board on it before. And yeah, there's loads of other little bits and pieces which are different. Got these little side markers. And also the top lights there, which is for when it's swimming. Almost like a little side lights on the top there underneath the support for the hatches. Yeah. So we'll show you inside as well. The inside is absolutely lovely and totally unfiddled with. It's really common with these vehicles for people to use them for off-roading and experience days, that kind of thing, or just generally abuse them. So it's really nice to get a vehicle which has just completely come out of military service and is completely as standard as it would have been. And this vehicle really is really good condition. One thing I did notice as soon as I saw it was how good all the underside is, all these sills. On every other one I've had so far, these are completely either rusted out, rusted through. I haven't seen any single holes in this at all so far. I think even this vehicle might even swim very, very quickly. We've obviously got to do a few checks to it, but the steelwork on this, the tin work, is absolutely superb. There's just a few areas of really light corrosion with a little bit of paint loss, but I haven't seen a single hole in it yet, so it'll be really interesting to actually water test this, which we will do fairly soon. I'll show you inside now, which is just as impressive as the outside, if not more so. It's also got its original cover still, so that's the one that it would have had, which is nice to have that. And then inside, it's really, really nice in here. Super tidy. So not only are the three seats in really good condition, but the dash is all there, all intact. It's also got its original swim levers, which are these two right here, and they all work as well. Everything is very tight, but they do work. This is the original steering linkage, steering bracket. You'll notice as well that all the dash things, all the dash instruments, everything has little translation badges on it for in Swedish, so might have to do a bit of translating for a lot of this, but there's all sorts of little warnings all over it. I'm not entirely sure what this is. Pretty sure the UK ones don't have that, whatever all that means. Other than that, it's very similar. There's a few other differences here on the back, on the bulkhead. Some more different things. I'm not sure what an hour meter is doing here. My other one doesn't have that. I think that's all the different weights, maybe. This is the maker's badge on them, which is slightly different to the UK ones again. So there you can see that it's an Elvis Mark II, 5 ton 6x6 amphibious high mobility load carrier. So 5 tonne is what it can carry, not how much it weighs. This whole vehicle actually weighs about 8 tonne. And this is chassis number 243. So that's the number of it. From the registration number, I was able to get the history of the vehicle, which included this really good original picture of this actual machine in Swedish service. It's actually towing a target tracking floating radar trailer in this photo. And there's a really good webpage about these Swedish Stalwarts on the internet. It's where all of this information came from, and I will put a link in the description. It covers all of the history of Sweden using these vehicles, why they had them, and also includes these pictures of the vehicles in use. And yeah, this vehicle is in absolutely fantastic condition. We actually managed to fire this up from where I got it from. It started and ran, and I towed it all the way back, and now that I've left it a while, it doesn't actually run. So today's mission, we're going to try and get it starting again, get some fresh fuel in it, and have a little play with it, show you the engine running. The top section here probably does have the most corrosion, which is quite normal for these vehicles. With this flat plate, the moisture tends to sit here and the rust does tend to form. So we are going to have to clean all this top surface up and get that painted before any of this rust gets too bad. It's nice that everything on this seems to work. So all the little latches work, all the hatches, all the little small things, everything's all free and loose, and it all tends to work really nicely, which is nice. From the top up here, I can show you how this swim board works. So this is its original swim board. This is what people are always reminding me they're missing on my Mark 1, so I may have to go up making one of these. And yeah, this is, I believe, is the original one. And you kind of operate it by pulling this thing like that, and pushing it down, and there we go. That is the swim board in position. Looks a bit strange, but what that does is just gently push the swell and the big waves out of the way for you at the front. Now, I'm guessing that really helps with where you're going, where you can see. It does look a bit strange with the swim board deployed. I always thought that they went flat. I didn't realise that they've got a slight angle in them like that, but that seems to be how it goes. So yeah, there we go. Swim board deployed. I don't think this vehicle is going to take much at all to take it for a swim, which is really cool. Be very interesting to float test this, make sure no water's coming in, and see how different it is to the Mark 1. I believe that these little plate holders here are if you're carrying flammable or dangerous cargo, you put like little marker boards in them. I believe that's what they're for. So if it was carrying ammunition or fuel, you'd put whatever risk factor it is so that other road users can see. It's also road registered in the UK, which is brilliant. The other really nice thing about this vehicle was that when we did first start it up, everything worked. So all the lights worked, the indicators, even the windscreen wiper, we actually had that working as well. So really nice to see something which has been really looked after and everything still works on. All original, and yeah, exactly as it should be. You don't see many still with the old washer bottle as well. And yeah, all the seats are really nice. They're all in good original condition. Just really tidy all round, really. Very little that needs doing. It just all needs recommissioning so that everything definitely still works and we get the thing reliable. Not actually really driven this one much yet, so I haven't long got it home. Assuming it's exactly the same as the other Mark II to drive, so it's the same gear stick, that's the clutch pedal on this side, brake pedal, this is the handbrake. And again, everything's all nicely freed up and everything works, which is really good to see. Yeah, it's even got all its little levers for various bits and pieces. Swim levers. Well, one of these here is the swim lever. I can't remember which one. We're obviously going to have to do some translating here because there's your two labels. But they are most definitely in Swedish. No idea what either of them mean. My other one only has one lever there, so I'm not too sure what the two are doing. And then there's also a control on this side as well. That's your backwards and forwards. I'm pretty sure that's the winch. But as I say, we may have to look that up. Not too sure on this one. And then this here is another bilge pump. It's a manual bilge pump behind the seat, which again all works. I'm going to take this rear cover off now and we'll show you what's inside the back. As you'd expect, the engine is also in really good condition, all original. And I have also forgot to say at this point that a lot of these did have cranes on, and at one point this had a crane on it. So unfortunately this crane has been removed. You'll see in a minute there's a place here where the crane was, but a lot of these had slightly different crane to the UK version. Yeah, this one's no longer there, but that's not a problem. That's the rear cover now removed, so I'll jump down in and show you inside the rear. This right here is where the crane would have been mounted. So on a Swedish crane Stalwart, the crane was actually offset. On the UK ones, the crane is right in the middle. On these, they have what they call a FOCO crane, which was mounted here on this side. You can still see where the panels here are missing, and that's the original mounting bolts. Unfortunately, that has all been removed, but everything else is still here and really nice and original. The rear of this is actually in brilliant condition. So if you look down in here, everything's super tidy. Everything's there, everything's connected. So this is the Rolls-Royce B81 8-cylinder petrol engine. It's original engine, which is in starting and running condition, although we have had a few fuel issues with this one. Probably because the fuel tank has been sat for so long, it's probably just got some muck in it. Transfer box down here. This is where your swim drives come up into these boxes, which then go to the propellers, which are in these tubes here. This is all intact. As I say, in a lot of the UK ones, all of this is removed when they took away the Stalwart swimming capabilities. So it's brilliant that all of these are still here. Don't have to find any of that. Engine, which is all in great condition. It even runs nicely. And yeah, everything's there. I've got all these covers. These covers at the moment are just pulled up just so we could see everything. They all slot back on here. And then that's the fan pack in the back there. So yeah, that is the rear of the vehicle. We're going to plumb up some fuel now and see if we can get it running. Have had this running, had it running quite a lot. When we first got it back, had it ticking over for ages, and then as soon as we tried to run it, tried to rev it, it didn't get enough fuel. So this is the big fuel tank down here. They have huge fuel tanks on these, way bigger than really you need. This fuel tank is absolutely massive, so at some point this fuel tank needs to come out. What I've tended to do on the others is actually put a smaller tank on, but with this one being so original, I'd like to keep this one's original fuel tank. So unfortunately at some point we're going to have to get that fuel tank out, clean it. We may be able to do it in the vehicle with that hatch, but it's always nice to get everything completely out, completely clean it, new fuel filters, and we should be away. It'll be very interesting with this to see what this is actually like to drive, because I've never actually driven one with their original engine in. My very first Mark 1 I bought had no engine fitted at all, and the Mark 2 I had with the crane just didn't run very well at all really. It had no brakes either, so I never really had a chance to give that one a good run to see what it was like. So be very interesting with this one when it's ready to go to see what it's actually like roaring around on its petrol engine. So for the minute, because we know the fuel tank is producing not good quality fuel, I've just rigged up a really basic outboard tank going direct to the carb. Now we're going to jump in the cab and see if she'll start. So the starting procedure is exactly the same as any normal Mark II. The switches are slightly different. Well, at least they are compared to my crane Mark II. So that's our ignition, and then this is our start one here. We give it a little bit of a pump on the foot, and then we'll crank it and see if she goes. Oh, almost. This is what one of the carburetors looks like off the Stalwart. This is actually a spare. Very handy having spare parts. I've got several spare carburetors already. And yeah, what happens is as you work the throttle linkage, which is this piece here, it operates these two pumps on the front, which puts more fuel in for the acceleration into the carb. And when you leave these a long time, especially with modern fuel, when you leave them, the little diaphragms in behind these covers, so you take these pieces off, you get these little diaphragms out, and what happens is they go hard, they split, they crack. You can see that this one here is totally gone all manky. Luckily you can still get hold of these parts. So what you have to do is strip it all down like I've done to this one, which is another one. Take it all apart, take the covers off. Unfortunately as well, you get brass into aluminium, so some of these heads are really easy to round and they do go tight in the aluminium. So you end up spraying everything with release fluid and stripping it all down like I've done here. We also have here, this is the float assembly in here, so this is what allows fuel to fill this portion of the carburetor here, and then these float assemblies turn the fuel on and off as they go up and down, like that. Luckily I have one which is now all fully rebuilt, fully replaced with the soft parts, so what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be putting this rebuilt carburetor onto the vehicle and seeing if it runs. She's alive. It's even ticking over as well, which is something I haven't been able to get it to do for a while, so it's definitely a fuel issue. On that outboard tank, it's actually running and ticking over really nicely. Which of course means we can now go for a little drive. Right, here we go. So handbrake off, in gear, in forwards, yep, and we're off. Steering's actually really nice and light on these, which is good. And unusually, on this one, watch this. Woo, the brakes actually work. It's the first Stalwart I've had that the brakes are actually really good, which is a nice change. Let's try and go backwards. So that's the forward and reverse. So weirdly, it's got 5 gears, and then it's got a forward and reverse lever, so it's actually got as many forward gears as reverse. Just select which gear you want, select whether you want to go backwards or forwards, and away you go. Well, I'll tell you what, that is absolutely fantastic. Now that we've sorted the fuel out, that's actually running really nicely. We probably used quite a lot. Oh yeah, yeah, they pretty much used the whole 10 litres there, just messing around with it in the yard. So these things are not well known for being good on fuel. They're very, very thirsty. But when you've got an 8-cylinder petrol engine, it's going to suck some juice. So that's just one of the downsides of having an engine like this. You don't buy these things because you want to not spend money on fuel on it. So yeah, that's really good. Really pleased actually how that's running. What we have to do now is we have to sort out the fuel tank, so probably will be cleaning that one, or either that or putting a bigger plastic one on. Right, that is the new Project Stalwart all back in the shed. And yeah, next plan for that is to get the paint all sorted on it, get all the rust spots done, and then we are going to try and swim this vehicle. So if you want to see this swimming, don't forget to subscribe and follow my channel, because we are going to be giving this a test run to see if it still swims. I'm not really going to do anything else to it other than make sure all the fuel is sorted, make sure there's no holes in it, and we will see if it still swims. So yeah, that's it for this one. Thank you for watching, and we will catch you again soon for more military vehicle videos.